Okay, so we're getting ready to start on the closet. We kind of got other stuff running around, like the river rock we talked about in another episode. So what it is the Tripp Lite case that we're going to be putting in here is a 12U case, but it sits a little bit further and deeper than this once you open up the door. So I've already popped one or two of these up just by hand because I'm trying not to damage it as little as possible. But we're going to be taking out all these shelves, and then we're going to be sawing them back once we figure out the measurements of what we want to do. So these should come out fairly easy. The guy that built these built it really good. I had to smack on it pretty good. And I've got this tool. It's a Goldblat. I don't know if you've seen it before. If you haven't, there's a couple people that have done reviews on it. But we're going to basically use that to take off these trim pieces back here so we can cut them back. I'm going to try to leave those in the backside where they are without taking them out because we're going to use them again in the exact same position. And I figure we'll probably end up taking about 12 inches off. Once we do that, what I'm going to do is come in here. We've got the security box. We've got some audio. We've got, obviously, this wiring box that has the Cat 5 in there and the coax. And then we got some more audio up there. So in a minute, I'm going to pull out one of our tools, show you how to use it. There's people that have done a ton of reviews on opening boxes and all that sort of stuff. We're actually going to see how you use the tools, but we're going to go through, track out all these cables, and we're going to label them. Because even though I may not be reusing Cat 5, I kind of want to know which run they go to. For instance, like that green cable or the other one. So when we get up into the ceiling, it'll be easier to trace it out and hopefully use the original wiring chase without having to drill no holes. But if we do have to drill no holes, I got another tool we're going to show you how to use that's awesome. I used to pull cable 25 years ago. We didn't have that tool. This one is just a lifesaver. I want to find that guy and just give him a big fat kiss. So we'll get into that. I got a label maker. We'll start tracing out cables. But first thing we got to do, we got to take this out. So we'll be back in a little bit. I'm sure you guys don't want to sit here and watch me just pound on wood for a while. Double entendre. Oh, talk to you later. Next. Okay, so as you see, we got the cabinets out thanks to my best friend. I want to kiss or kill this guy that put this in. He did actually a really freaking good job. He nailed the living out of this completely up one side and down the other. And yeah, see that pock mark? I blew that out. So now we're just trying to figure out the depth of the cabinet, where the edge is going to be, the door swing, where we're actually going to cut that back. So in a few minutes, we're going to start like turning all this out and start ripping out this wall. Talk to you in a minute. Okay, so we've already got that down. The issue is now that we need to trace out all this cable in here. So we've got some white coax in here that comes down to this junction box. And we got a couple loops of white coax here. And then if we come over here, we got some more white coax. And then we got some more white coax. So we're not sure where it's going to. So we got to trace it all out. So basically using my Klein tools, I'll get into this in another review. Well, we've marked this one coming out of the TV as 1, 2, and 3. And we're labeling everything just like you should be doing. That wasn't done when we actually got here. So now we got to trace everything out instead of just pulling it. And then we're going to tone everything out. So you can sit around and watch me pull some cables and tone some stuff out, but I'm not going to waste your time. But that's what we're doing is we're going through and we're toning everything out, figuring out where it goes and trying to trace it out so we can pull it apart and not mess it up later. Okay, so we just finished doing this. Now, as you can tell, we got all these labeled. The control bar, we label those with comms. We know where everything goes. So we know they go now to the audio underneath the cabinet, so you can see all those are labeled. Now we're getting ready to tone these out, so we're starting on the coax. We've got number 1 here. And the cool thing is we can go around and set all these up so we're labeling everything and making sure we know where everything goes before we do anything next, because we don't want to start pulling the wiring cabinet out until we're sure. She's just sticky. Okay, so one thing I want to point out when we're going through, we're turning this out, they had labeled some of this like to TV and pink room. No one knows what that is. I mean, you may know what it is, but if you're labeling this for your customer or for yourself, go ahead and label it with a number. That way no one has to go and figure it out later in 6, 8 years. Also, make sure you leave about 6 or 8 inches above the tip. That way, if I got to cut it back and re-terminate it, I still have room and I don't have to go back and relabel it and it doesn't get lost. Okay, so we've finally gotten all the coax figured out. We found out where our demarc is for satellite for the cable coming into the house. We found a couple unknown cables, but we're really getting ready to do the Cat 6 that's up here. They were nice enough to mark the wires for us here, like number 4. They didn't mark any of the wall plates. So without like ripping out all the wall plates and trying to pull cable and figure out what it is, we're just going to tone it and label it correctly. So we'll see in a little bit after we get this done. Okay, so we're sitting here testing these out. We got some of them traced. This wire is showing as a fail short. This was found plugged into an old router on one of the outbound ports. So it was connected out to somewhere, but it obviously wasn't working. Not sure if you can see that really well or not. Anyway, we've got some of these traced out. I've still got one unknown out here, and I think some of these were replaced because most of the original wiring was blue. But we found this one cable that traced out to one of the bedrooms. Must have been a replacement, I guess. So we're going to keep digging on this and see what we can figure out. So we've got that all traced out. We've still got 2 cables. One is that fail short, and then we got another unknown that's not tagging to anything. So we're going to start deconstructing this box in a few minutes, but what we need to do is now trace out the audio cables up here, make sure we label those. So when we get ready and put those back, we'll probably end up repositioning them, but we want to make sure that we put all the connections back where they're supposed to go. The other thing we're going to do is we got a box up here for electrical. We got another one down here. We've got another one here. And did you notice this in the other videos? Don't you just love exposed electrical wiring where someone could electrocute themselves? I tell you, this makes me want to find people and start beating them seriously. Anyway, so we're going to trace out all the audio here, which I think goes to the back of the TV for those connections. And then this is the house audio. We're going to trace that out and mark that. Then we got a little tool that we're going to try to figure out what circuits these are on and if they're hot. And yeah, we're going to take care of that. So we will check back in a little bit. Okay, I think we've got most of the wiring completely marked. So we got all of our audio cables marked. I called out this, like, that it made me mad when people do this. It turns out my best friend did that. He was just poking around to see what was there. So yeah, I can blame him. Anyway, all the Cat 6 is marked. All the coax is marked. We've got most of the audio marked up there. The only thing that I haven't really marked yet is, I don't know if you can see this or not, but the control box, we're fairly sure it comes down here to the wiring, bottom of the wiring closet. So kind of our concept right now is this is marked and that is the power supply for the security system. So what we think we're going to do is take the 2 audio boxes that were there, the control box that were there, and move that down to here somewhere, and then move the security box over on this wall. So that way the rack can go here. Then it's fairly easy to get to the audio if you need to mess with that. Easy to get security, easy to get to all the network gear that's here without having to climb up the wall. So we've got to trace out the circuits that are right up there. There's one there, there's an outlet there, and then that junction box. We're hoping it's all on one circuit so we won't have to run a new one, but we may. but we're definitely running a dedicated ground into here. So stay tuned. We're going to head to bed. It's been a long day just trying to do this and other stuff. So we'll see what we can get bagged out tomorrow. Thanks.